If you've ever been on a dating app, you know the feeling, right? That endless swiping, the conversations that go nowhere, the total burnout. It's this weirdly universal frustration. But why is it like this? Well, today we're going to dig into what's really going on behind the screen. We're talking about a massive tug-of-war between our own biology, the app's business plan, and, well, you. Let's get into it. And you kind of have to start right here, in the trenches. This quote from a Reddit user just cuts straight to the heart of it for so many women. It's that feeling of having to sift through a mountain of, let's just say, low effort or sometimes really inappropriate messages. But you know, this isn't just a one-sided thing. This comment shows that the frustration is just as real on the other side. A lot of guys feel like they're just screaming into a void, barely getting any matches, and feeling like they're being judged super harshly. The exhausting, it seems, is everywhere. And then, on top of all that, you've got this other feeling, this suspicion that maybe the whole game is rigged. This user says what a lot of people are thinking, that the app's goals and your goals might not be the same thing at all. So when you put all these raw, unfiltered feelings together, you realize people are trying to navigate what you can only call a digital dating jungle. You know, it's this whole ecosystem with its own weird rules, its own predators, and its own strategies for survival. Okay, so let's move from the feelings to the facts for a second. To really understand what's happening, we need to look at the numbers behind the single most important action on these apps. We're calling it the Great Swipe Divide. And here it is. This is the number that basically explains everything. Data suggests that on average, women swipe right on only about 4.5% of the male profiles they see. Let that sink in. That's like one guy for every 20 profiles. This single number is pretty much the epicenter of the whole imbalance we see in online dating. So, the huge question is, why? What is going on that creates such a gigantic difference in behavior? Well, it really all boils down to two completely different strategies being played at the same time. So on one side, you have the male strategy. Because the response rate is so low, for a lot of men, it becomes a pure numbers game. You cast a super wide net, swipe on almost anyone you find remotely attractive, and just hope for the best. But for women, it's the total opposite. They get a huge volume of interest, so their strategy has to be all about filtering. They're constantly screening for quality, for safety, and trying to weed out any of those weird vibes or super low-effort profiles. But to really get to the bottom of this, we have to go even deeper than just user strategy. We need to look at the two often conflicting forces that are really pulling the strings: our own ancient evolutionary programming and the app's very modern business algorithm. All right, let's start with the biology. The idea here is that our brains are basically running on some seriously ancient software. You can think of it as an evolutionary echo. These really deep primal drives are still influencing our decisions every single time we open a dating app on a smartphone. And at the core of this is a fascinating concept from evolutionary psychology called the dual mating strategy. The theory suggests that, especially for women, there's this subconscious trade-off happening. On one hand, there's the conscious search for a reliable partner, the good dad traits. But on the other, there's this unconscious biological pull towards markers of good genes, which are things like physical dominance and high status. Now, this internal conflict creates something researchers call a say-do gap. So while what someone says they want in their profile might be kindness and emotional availability, the revealed preferences, what the actual swipe data shows, often lean heavily towards those markers of status and physical dominance. Now, this isn't about people being dishonest. It's about a fascinating conflict between our conscious wants and our much older subconscious drives. Okay, let's switch gears. We're going from our ancient brains to the modern boardroom, because the second major force that is shaping your experience is the app's business blueprint. Let's be real. At the end of the day, these are companies, and they have a bottom line. So how do they actually make their money? I mean, their ads are all about finding love, but their business model is built on other things. It's about selling you premium subscriptions that promise you'll get more matches, offering paid boosts so more people see your profile, and sometimes even running ads or selling anonymized data. Their real goal is to keep you engaged. And right there, that creates this huge fundamental conflict of interest. Think about it. The better an app is at its stated goal, finding you a happy, permanent relationship, the faster it loses you as a paying customer. It's a paradox often called endemic churn, and it's the central problem every single dating app has to figure out how to manage. So if finding you the one is actually bad for business, how do different apps deal with that? Let's look at two totally different philosophies from two of the biggest players in the game right now. Bumble basically built its entire company around solving the biggest problems for its female users. Their model is like a flywheel. It starts by attracting women with the promise of more safety and control. Then, the men follow because they go where the women are. This leads to a better, more controlled experience for women, which creates this positive feedback loop that just keeps the whole thing spinning.
Hinge, on the other hand, went in the complete opposite direction. Instead of building a system around that churn, they just tackled the conflict head-on. Their famous tagline, "designed to be deleted," is so clever because it admits what the user's real goal is, and it positions the app as a tool to get you there, not as a permanent new hobby. And you can really see these two different philosophies in the language they use. Bumble is all about action and empowerment, with phrases like "make the first move." But Hinge is all about the successful outcome, with features like "we met" that celebrate when you leave. You could say one sells the journey while the other sells the destination. So here's the really important thing to remember. The app you're using isn't just a neutral platform. It's a curated experience. It's an entire environment that's been shaped by that company's specific answer to these huge conflicts between biology and business. Really, each app is its own little social experiment. Which kind of leaves us with one last big thought. The next time you find yourself swiping, just ask yourself, in this really complicated digital dance, who's actually leading? Is it your ancient evolutionary drives? Is it the app's algorithm, which is designed to make a profit? Or is it you? The answer, most likely, is a little bit of all three.